You're about to listen to Night Talk. So buckle up. Your host tonight, JoeRoxx.
Hey, this is EYA. So I'm here with Shani. Hey, Shani, how's it going?
Hey, it's great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Me and Shani met at Strasbourg. We were both students there a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute actually.
Yeah, but you were actually a teacher, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tell me a little bit about that.
When we graduated together, we did the 2-year conservatory program, and I went to Israel for a visit, and then I ended up landing this teen show in Israel and stayed in Tel Aviv for a year. However, all my belongings were still here, and I knew I was going to come back, and I came back and got my work permit, and I went to Strasbourg to visit, Hedy and Marino and Carlos and everybody. And then I taught in Israel at the time when I was acting there, and I thought, let's see if there is a young actors program in Strasbourg, and I was told Liza is the one who manages the program, and I met with her, and I guess somebody booked a play or something, because we met, let's say, on a Wednesday, and she called me on a Sunday telling me if I wanted to start like 2 weeks later, and I was like, sure.
Oh wow, I had no idea that it happened that fast.
Yeah, it was very quick, and I had to, obviously I didn't really know a lot of plays for such young actors, because we worked on Stanley and we worked...
Someone's honk happy today. That's Hollywood for you.
So I knew heavier plays.
Yeah.
And so I looked at, so basically I had to direct 2 plays, one for middle schoolers and one for high schoolers. And so I just buried myself in Samuel French and found a bunch of options. And then 2 weeks later we started, and I just fell in love with it. Since I was like probably 9, I always taught my friends for like tests and quizzes, and
so this was easy for you.
I wouldn't say it was easy. But it's not easy, but I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I mean, it's definitely a huge investment, because I know how I looked up to my teachers, and I wanted to be knowledgeable enough for them. And there's also the aspect like I'm not from here, and I was a little nervous about what if I say something that doesn't sound right, what if I don't know all the answers to their questions. And actually, I pretty much did, which was fun. But I had to do a lot of work. I wanted to come prepared.
Yes, definitely. Oh my goodness, but that's such an honor to be able to,
yes,
teach at the school that you graduated from. And it's just like validation, like I succeeded this far, and now I'm, able to be a teacher. That is awesome.
That was amazing and extremely flattering. And then later they even offered me a position as a method actor teacher for the teenagers, which that is a huge responsibility.
Yes.
You know what that makes you feel, and the kind of exercise that you do, the emotions that you evoke.
It is. It's very intense.
It's very intense.
Very intense.
And I did want it to make it as intense for them, because they're young.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be exposed to all of the emotions.
Oh yeah, some of them were a little extreme. Yeah. Even for an adult. I started going there as a teenager when I started the program. So I was the youngest one.
How old were you?
When I started was right after high school, so by the time I finished, I wasn't even 21 yet.
Yeah, I came here when I was 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I remember, for some reason, I thought everybody was my age. Even remember Nick? I thought he's like, I don't know, like 20s, whatever. I thought everybody's my age. Or I forget names now, but people that were like mid-30s, I would say, oh, you're like what, 22? Because I thought everybody's going through the same experience that I am.
Yeah,
but people came with like degrees and careers, and
yeah, Nick was in the Army forever.
Yeah.
That was a whole career of his. And then Mario was like a pro soccer player. People had lives before they even started Strasbourg.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, I graduated high school.
I did the Army for a little bit, but hello.
Well, that is an amazing story, and I didn't even know quite in depth what that was about. I just saw on Facebook that you were teaching, or someone told me that you were teaching at Strasbourg, and I was like, good for Shani, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So what projects have you been working on now?
So I just got back from Israel. I actually booked a pilot that will be an Israeli pilot that would be shot in LA, which is pretty awesome.
That's
it's a
really cool.
win-win for me. And I can't talk about it to say a lot about it, but I can say that it's going to be about the lives of Israelis in LA.
Okay.
As you know, like, there's people come here from all over the world, from Brazil, Germany, I mean, you name it.
Everyone's a transplant in LA.
In LA, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's actually from here. I mean,
So
you're pretty rare. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not even from here. I'm from Northern California.
Oh, well.
So to find someone who's actually born and raised in LA, it's like, that just doesn't exist.
I mean, my family, my cousins were born and raised here, but their parents are Israelis. That moved here 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So
yeah, I was born in Mountain View, Northern California. Lived in Central California, which is about 5-6 hours away.
Yeah.
So it's pretty close compared to Israel, but
which is 17 hours flight.
Yeah, that's a brutal flight. Let me just tell you. I don't know about for you, but I went one time, and
I mean, I'm so used to it. For me, the jet lag is more challenging, but the flight, I actually get to sleep, I get to write, I get to plan my trip, I get to watch like at least 2 movies, you know, think about goals that I want to achieve when I'm there or when I get back, so I like it. So yeah, back to that. So I booked that Israeli pilot that will be shot in LA this winter, and that's one thing I'm working on, and I'm actually waiting to hear some awesome news. So just cross your fingers for me. I don't like saying it until it's officially signed and sealed, but it's an amazing TV show here in America. And I just worked on NCIS New Orleans and CSI Cyber, and previously on Shameless and the original NCIS, and did a Lifetime movie and some short films, some commercials.
Wow! Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I'm so proud of you, and I'm definitely going to keep you in my thoughts. So fingers crossed for whatever that project is.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just call it Mystery Project.
Just good vibes out there,
Just
guys.
good vibes.
Just giving you good karma. So I just got back from Israel literally a week and a half ago, and it has been crazy, good, busy for me. So I will have good news for you soon.
Oh my goodness, yes, you definitely have to share with us.
I will share with you. And I have 2 commercials coming out, one for Samsung and one for a national bank in Mexico.
Wow.
What do you know? I do speak Spanish, but they actually didn't have me speak.
Yeah.
Of course, in the audition, you must speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And they
but
must hear
when
it,
you
but
film it, you really don't have to talk.
No. And you just smile and, you know,
that is hilarious.
hold somebody's hand.
I was actually, by accident, casted for 12 Cortizones. I don't know if you know that show.
Yeah.
It's on Telemundo. I don't speak Spanish, by the way. They called me up and asked me, oh, do you speak Spanish? And I said no. And they're like, okay, well, don't worry about it. So I come in and everything's in Spanish. And I finally find out what I'm doing. And I'm like, hey, guys, I don't speak Spanish. Can I volunteer to be eliminated first round? And the producer's like, oh, yeah, sure, don't worry about it. So we get to the show. And the first round, I didn't have to say anything, which was awesome. But I didn't get eliminated. And I was like, oh, man, we have to answer questions next. I don't even know what they're going to ask me, let alone what I'm going to say. So one of the assistants actually was feeding me answers. I ended up winning the whole thing.
Oh my god!
It was so random.
Like, give me an example of an answer you had to say.
What kind of guys? I think this was a question. What kind of guys are you interested in? And I said I like white guys.
In Spanish, you said?
In Spanish.
Can you repeat that?
I have no idea. I just remember, like, gringo.
Me encantan los gringos.
Something like that. I had it written down, like,
That's
on a
hilarious.
piece of paper, and they would give me the answers.
That's too funny.
Yeah. I don't know how I won it. And my boyfriend dropped me off. That's the funny thing. I was like, I'm not going on a date with you.
Is he a gringo?
Yes.
Okay.
This is my ex, though.
Okay.
Yeah. We're no longer dating.
We don't care about him anymore.
Nah, all my boyfriends are gringos. I have a very singular type.
I can tell.
Yeah. Even my dog's half white. I love my men blonde. I love my beers blonde.
Oh, there we go.
I definitely have a
You like yourself blonde.
I do. Notice I dye my hair now?
I did. I'm sure they can all see that too.
Oh yeah, totally. We'll post a picture.
Okay.
So how long have you been out in LA now?
Well, I have been in LA for the almost 2 years when we went to school, and then I was gone for a year, and then since I got back, it's been 3 years on and off though. I still go to Israel twice a year for at least a month when I go. Depends on if I'm shooting or what am I shooting or what my visit is for. So overall, it'll be 4.5 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I heard either between 5 and 7 you're a native. So I just became a native to LA.
I will be soon.
You will be very soon. Yeah, 4th of July weekend I became a native.
Oh wow.
Yes, marked my 7 years. I'm like officially.
Wow. So for me it'll be in November.
Okay, cool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you should like celebrate LA native. When you book your roles in Israel, do you audition here or do you audition there?
Well, it depends. When I lived there, I auditioned there, obviously, and now from here, I send tapes occasionally, and I booked a movie off that actually last year. I did this like summer hit in Israel. It's a comedy that we shot, that came out last summer. Yeah, came out last summer, and I booked it off a tape. And actually, I did book that same part I read for. It was really funny. So I go to the wrap party of that film, and then I finally see the casting director. And I go, hi, oh my God, we never, actually met, but thank you so much. I had a lot of fun working on this project. And, and then she told me, you read for a different part. I'm like, yeah, I know. And she goes, well, I saw you on that other show. I did this show where they took in Israel 10 well-known people from all kinds of fields, like a professor, a basketball player, a singer, an actress, a teen star, myself, and a writer, and we were 10 people. And she saw me there. It was more of a documentary show that you can actually see my personality. And she said, I saw you there and I thought you would be perfect for the other role. So she cast me for the other role based on that tape and based on that cooking show.
Yeah.
So, which was hilarious.
I love that. You just never know where people are going to see you.
Yeah. So you always want to do good work.
Yes. So are you still studying at Strasbourg, or are you studying with different teachers?
I'm not currently studying at Strasbourg. I do go there occasionally. I do go and see Hedy and Carlos, and sometimes I'll audit a class or prep for a big audition there. And after Strasbourg, I've tried and audited a couple classes, and this past year and a half, I've been in and out of a studio called Jocelyn Jones Studio. That she teaches by the Beverly Hills Playhouse technique.
Oh yeah, I know where that is.
Milton Kitsella's technique. And it's a scene study class, and it's pretty great, and she's worked with like a lot of big names that she coached, and it's a really good class because she treats everything. It's not just the acting, but it's whether or not you got a reel, you got a website, you got an agent, you got a manager. What are you going out for? Do you know your casting? What is your way into the industry in the beginning, and later we can break through that and have a bunch of other roles, but having some sort of way in the beginning makes it easier. So it's very interesting. Right now, when I was in Israel, I took a little break, and it's so busy I can't really concentrate in being in a class right now, but I'm sure I'll go back in like a month.
Yeah.
Oh
my goodness. Well, but I'm so proud of all your success. I had no idea. I've worked on these shows, but as background, so that's not as impressive.
That's still good. You'll still get a role there, I'm sure.
I did though, through background.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's funny because I was on the show as background for Gamer's Guide to pretty much everything. It's a Disney Channel show. And then the next week they called me through the background service and was like, oh, do you still have the same hair? And I was like, yeah, I'm still blonde. So I ended up getting a call because they added me into another scene, so I worked 2 days. And I get there, and my character's name's Renona. I have 2 boyfriends. There's a whole scene dedicated to me, and I'm just like, how did this happen?
Because they loved you.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though.
They built a thing around you.
Yeah.
Actually, my friend did from class from Jocelyn Jones Studio. She did she was supposed to be a co-star on The Last Ship. She did, for one episode. And they added her on all the episodes in a small role, but still for every episode as an officer of some sorts, and she's Latina, so something in that regard. And that's amazing, just because they liked her.
Yeah.
They liked her look, they liked her vibe, they liked her acting, so these things happen.
They do happen. It's rare, but they do happen. I know. It just happened to me, and I didn't even think that they were paying attention to me. I was too busy on my phone the whole day. I was like, I got there late when I was doing background. So I'm just like, I don't even know how they picked me out of everyone.
They liked you,
So what has been your favorite project working on?
I think I really enjoyed working on NCIS New Orleans because it was a very special experience for me. Also, it was shot in New Orleans, so I got to see that place. I've never been there before. And they flew me in, and I was there for 2 weeks, and it was a really, really big and significant part. And I really liked the part and the storyline, and the actors, the cast was incredible to me. And also, in the last 3 days that I had left on set, I got a call from Israel from my mom telling me that I'm the last one to find out that my dad had a heart attack and he's about to get into bypass surgery.
Oh my God.
And my brother's just booked his flight because he lives in LA too. My sister is already on the plane about to depart, and I'm in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I just found out. And mind you, all my crying scenes were all the days up until that moment, up until that phone call. So I hear that, and first of all, it's a huge shock. My dad is young, he's 57, it's out of the blue to me. I mean, he was a smoker before the surgery. And so the first thing I want to do is get the hell out of here. And so I call my sister, she's about to depart, and she calms me down, and I go and talk to one of the biggest producers on set, and I tell him, look, I understand we got some work to do, but I really have to leave, go to LA and fly to Israel like right now. So they changed the whole schedule. They bought me like 3 flight tickets.
Oh my goodness.
Because, I mean, it was 10:30 a.m. and we didn't even do my close-up, and my flight is at noon.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm not going to make that one, and the later one is at 1 p.m. Not making that one either.
Yeah.
So the later one, and they were so kind to me, and they did their absolute best, and I felt like between takes that if I were to speak, I would just cry. And these were the only scenes that had to be happy, and it's my, my resolution, my closure. So, I mean, but it was such an amazing experience. I got to see the city. I had a few days off because it was a holiday, so I just explored and bought books and watched, Pulp Fiction again, and, alone in a hotel room. So it was amazing. So I'll never forget that experience because it was very emotional and very elevating and just a wonderful experience.
And your dad's okay, right?
My dad's okay.
Okay.
Obviously, I flew to Israel. I flew to Israel right after that, obviously. He was so happy to see me. We were all together, my siblings and my parents and I. And the recovery, was slow, but he's very strong. And I was just there, so 6 months later, he's really back to normal, quit smoking, which is amazing, which is something I'd like to promote. I just promoted that in Israel too. Please quit smoking. I quit smoking. It's just a terrible, terrible habit, and it's within our control. It's really not that big of a deal. If you want to, you can.
Yeah.
The cigarette doesn't control us. So I'm very proud of my dad because he's smoked for 40 years.
Oh wow. That is awesome.
I couldn't even imagine it.
I'm proud of you too. I didn't know. I don't even remember you smoking.
Yeah, well, outside of Strasbourg.
Yeah. Everyone that smoked outside of Strasbourg.
Of course.
Oh my goodness. It was like
After
walking
birthday,
up.
you need a cigarette.
I was like the one person who didn't smoke at Strasbourg, and I definitely got my fair share of secondhand smoke just walking to and from class.
For sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're such a pleasure. Real quick, please tell everyone where they can find you and what projects are coming up that they can watch.
So thank you so much. Loved seeing you again. And you can find me on either my Instagram account, shaniatias.1, or my Facebook page. I have a fan page also called Shani Atias Official. I have a YouTube channel also called Shani Atias Official. And you can find my shows on IMDb and on CBS reruns and on Showtime. And I will let you know if anything else will come out.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.